Let's be honest here, I've never actually heard of these dudes. But the reason that I am casting this game is that it comes highly recommended by a friend of mine who has yet to steer me wrong. And it looks like we're gonna start right off with a 12 pool. Low ground pylon for the Protoss. Will he scout? Yes! He's probably just trying for a dirty hatch block, but it's gonna save his life. Pool is down. That initial drone was canceled. Is this the all-in 12 pool or the I just want to slow you down while I expand 12 pool? Scouting probe hits halfway. And there's nobody coming downstairs to put down a gateway. That is bad. The pool is already more than halfway done. I've got that nervous feeling that I've been pranked and this is going to be a quick game. Toss is going to see the pool. Toss is not putting down a gateway. He is queuing minerals for a Nexus and I think he's sticking with it. That is nards of steel. Pool is gonna finish. 6 lings in production. Protoss has nothing. Maybe he thinks photon overcharge is still a thing. Okay, he's putting down a forge. Okay, this is very old school. This is like the era of Naniwa. You can try to use a cannon to hold off the lings. Now he's gonna try to block the Zerg hatch with a pylon. I think Zerg needs to ignore this. No, he's going for it. That's gonna slow down the rush. Oh, this was brilliant by our Protoss player. He just bought himself some time. He's gonna be able to wall off now. Yeah, Zerg has prioritized his expansion. He got the first blood, but if he was gonna do that, he might have been better off going hatch before pool. There you can see, it's a tight wall. It's funny looking with double gate, but there's a cannon. That wall is good. I don't want to siphon all the drama out of this, but I think we're gonna look at 8 disappointed Zerglings. They have missed the school bus. The plane is already taken off and Protoss is ahead 4 workers. The bad news for Protoss is he's stuck inside his base with no map presence at all. Snack away there, lings, but that cannon is gonna finish. The Zerglings sharpen their claws. Oh, Guru with the pullback. He doesn't lose any lings at all. But it is a really cool standoff that we've got ourselves. Second gateway cancels, core replaces it. Hey now, if you want advice, you might try consulting a popular expert such as a Guru. Guru is a 27-year-old pro player from Poland, but currently teamless. We should probably keep an eye on him though. We might have to watch him like a hawk! No idea who Hawk is. There's an American Zerg player named Hawk, but he's retired. Core is gonna complete. Zerg is droning heavily, but he's not actually expanding. Not sure why that is. Protoss puts down a Stargate. That is a lot of stuff hanging off of a single pylon. There's no sign that Guru can punish him for that though. With Zerg's slow start, Protoss remains ahead on workers and is winning the income game right now. The problem for Protoss is he has no ability to get a third anytime in the near future. Ling speed starts up, but it's not like Guru's lings are actually moving. Yeah, no third at either location. Guru might be looking to transition to some kind of 2-base all-in. I may not get it, but I think it's gonna be wildly entertaining. Protoss starts +1 air attack. Stargate's gonna complete. It's an opportunity for Protoss to get a presence on the map. It's gonna be a Void Ray. Zerg's gonna be briefly supply capped while that Overlord finishes up. Those lings are trying to look useful, but they're not fooling anybody. Guru starts up his lair. This is definitely 2-basing, but he's not prioritizing his gases. Oh hello, Protoss is looking to make a front door. Oh, he's actually building a Zealot out of the gateway at the same time that he's destroying it. That's pretty boss. Notice there's no warp gate research. Protoss is probably going all in on air. I think the only reason he even wants a front door is so he can get a probe out. This is actually pretty sweet by Hawk. He knows this timing. Oh, Void Ray's gonna get the Overlord. That Overlord missed his chance to get away. Zerg is still not expanding, but he is grabbing his gases now. He's actually gonna get supply blocked again. The Zealot is out and the gateway's gonna blow. If you can produce a unit out of a structure while you're destroying it, I think you're pretty cool. The Zealot becomes the hold position door guard, and a much needed second pylon fills the gap. Meanwhile, a probe gets out to get the third base. He's got the minerals to put it down. And that means Protoss is going to get ahead on bases. Zerg is getting a Hydraless Den and an Evo Chamber, but I don't get why that's a 2-base all-in. Protoss has finished a Fleet Beacon, which means he can actually now start a carrier. Protoss is looking pretty scary here. He's ahead on bases and on tech. His second Stargate finishes up, +1 armor starting up for the Zerg. Hydra Den's finishing up as well. Oh, it's a Nidus Worm. That's what Zerg is up to. But it's kind of weird because there's no vision in the corners of the Protoss base anywhere. The only Overlord in the vicinity is dead. Meanwhile, it's double carrier production for the Protoss with +2 air. Nidus finishes, Queens are going to pile in. Where's that worm? It's a hidden worm outside the natural. Protoss is not going to be able to see that. The Zealot's like, I hear it screaming right in front of me, but I can't see it. Ah, clever Lings, they're luring the Void Ray away. He's going to be out of position. And the Queens are barfing out. They're going to get a Creep Tumor down. Not the end of the world for Protoss, though. He's already got a cannon down for detection. Carriers are out now, and Hawk transfers production to Tempest. There's a single Hydra with the Queens. He's got no upgrades, though. Hawk is working on his missing shield battery. The Queens kill that Zealot, but there's no Lings to flood into the gap. Carriers and Void Ray are here. He's gonna kill that worm. Hydra's reinforcing from the back worm. They're gonna shut down those interceptors. But the shield battery's gonna get online. There's an overcharge available. It looked like the Zerg had enough, but with that overcharge, Zerg's making 6 more Hydras and a worm at his feet, apparently. Hawk is doubling down on the Tempest. The Queens are going extinct here. With that +2 upgrade, the Tempests are going to be able to 2-shot a Hydra. The overcharge time's out, but the Hydras have pulled back. Zerg is in big trouble now. He's down 9 workers. Hawk is going to saturate his third with his extra probes. He needs gas for his high-tech fleet. The worm is going to get cleared out. And the Sky Toss is starting to look pretty scary. Guru's going to rebuild his worm, but it's unclear how he's going to try to defend that. Hawk has no shield batteries at his third. He's going to try to take care of that. Unless he's been chrono boosting, he's going to have enough energy for another battery overcharge at that third base. Guru starts up Hydra speed. He is going to hit that third. He needs to get it done before the shield batteries come online. But by attacking so soon, does he have enough Hydras for the job? The Hydras shut down the interceptors. And the carriers are really just expensive floating triangles. But here come the shield batteries. And an overcharge. Guru's wishing he had a Ravager to bile that down. But as the Zerg has not been a good little girl, the Wish Fairy is slow to grant his desire. He just has no chance of punching his way through that fleet with that overcharge there. I think Zerg is looking to transition now. He's showing signs of putting down a third. Guru's got a great creep highway here, just maybe not enough units to take advantage of it. Oh my god, 3 more gates for the Protoss. Hawk's gonna beat him up Gold League style. That Overlord kill actually supply blocks the Zerg. Desperation Worm going up in the middle. Is Desperation Worm actually a thing? I think I might have just totally made that up. Oh look, the Hydras are so jealous of the Protoss they're glowing green with envy. Hawk doesn't need shield batteries anymore. Look how scary he is. The Zerg is just kind of getting blown apart here, and it's GG. Well, that was pretty fun. Gonna have a few things to say about this one if you care to stick around. Okay, so Zerg made a lot of unusual choices here, and ultimately, some of them didn't work out that well. To be fair, the thinking behind them is defensible. There were good reasons for what we saw, but with our complete armchair vision, we could definitely see alternatives. First off, if you go 12 pool and your opponent goes Nexus first, there is a window to do damage. Guru, though, doesn't quite know what he has. He mucks around at his natural, giving Hawk the time he needs to not only get out of the dangerous spot he's in, but to position himself quite well for the rest of the game. Hawk gets out a Forge. For those of you who haven't been with the game that long, there was a period of a couple years in which Zerg rushes were so common and so deadly that Forge before Gateway was a necessary means of Protoss survival. They were often pretty dark days for Protoss. This is a time before battery overcharge and even before mothership core and photon overcharge. Anyways, as a result of Hawk's defensive maneuver, Hawk was locked in his base. And you guys know me, I call Triangle of Starcraft here. Time to expand. Ideally, I'd like to see Guru take advantage and even double expand. Easier said than done. Remember, Guru's economy is set back a lot. He's got to drone up and make overlords. But the decision to go for a 2-base timing was another risk on top of a risk. Still, we have seen that strategy work before. If you know your Protoss opponent is going air, why not make your 2 best units that shoot up, Queens and Hydras, and plop them on your opponent's doorstep? For example, we've seen Scarlet do this to devastating effect. What I don't like is that Guru paid for a ton of Nidus worms that got him very little after his first one. I'd rather he snuck an Overlord around the back and dropped one in the main for easy probe kills. Channel a little inner Bly. Again, easier said than done. Hawk was using a Void Ray to guard his airspace and chase Overlords out, but Guru never even tried. The end result was Guru wound up battling Protoss shield batteries without Ravagers, so he has no biles to shut the batteries down from range. To make it even harder on himself, rather than hitting the same spot twice during cooldown, Guru tries to fight different locations, so each time he's battling fresh batteries and new battery overcharge from a different nexus. Again, something that's easier for us to see and know with our perfect vision. For all Guru knows, there's an opportunity there. The last thing I'd like to touch on is why Tempest for Protoss. After all, they don't have any particular advantages against Queens or Hydras, and their DPS is definitely less than Carriers. The answer is because there are no Ravagers. No Ravagers means Protoss shield batteries placed behind walls are pretty safe. Everything else has to crumble first. Tempests are at their very best when they sit on shield batteries with their mammoth hit points. Because they have a range of 10 against ground, they can camp on the batteries and still hit the Zerg. Once the Tempests hit that critical mass, there's really nothing the Zerg can do about it, at least not without Infestors and Vipers. So cool game. It took us just enough outside the normal comfort zone of our current meta and gave us lots to think about. But this game also gave me a second gift. Those of you who've been with me for a long time may remember that I used to sign off with this fake motivational poster. It said, "Live life because nobody likes to die and hold position." It was inspired by a game in which Sue killed a whole bunch of zealots trapped in hold position. But this game brought us some great, fantastic footage of a hold position death. I mean, just check this out. So if you'll permit a little bit of nostalgia here, just for old time's sake, I'd like to remind you all to live life because nobody wants to die in hold position. From my base to yours, Zugzwang out. To continue your StarCraft journey, Nova advises you to click the video in the upper rectangle. But Kerrigan warns you to watch your 6 and click the video in the bottom rectangle. Or you can stimpack your StarCraft experience. Subscribe to Zugzwang StarCraft. Just hit the circle. From my base to yours, Zugzwang out.